One of the most interesting points that Vegapunk tackled in his message in this week's chapter pertains to those who found out the truth of the world. Vegapunk was, clearly, talking about the Void Century and the secrets of the world. He knows bits here and there, and whatever he knew was what he made public in this chapter. However, there are people in the One Piece world who found out the entire truth. These are the people who belong to the crew of the Pirate King, Gol D Roger. The Roger pirates were an incredibly powerful pirate crew that existed before the Great Age of piracy. Around 30 years ago in the One Piece world, this crew was at the peak of its powers. Around this time, Roger was an unparalleled pirate who the world government feared greatly. At this time, Roger had already completed the circumnavigation of the world. However, he had one last island missing, which he found out about after visiting Lodestar Island. This island was, of course, the final island. After learning what the poneglyphs are and how to locate the final island at Lodestar, Roger went about collecting these poneglyphs. He got one from Big Mom after stealing it, and one of them was given to him by the fisherman who kept it in the sea forest. Another was at Zoo, which Roger visited just like Luffy, and the last one was provided by Odin, who got a rubbing from Wano. Having collected all the road poneglyphs, Roger then set out to sail to the final island, and there he discovered the truth of the world. As put by Odin himself, Roger and his pirate crew found out the meaning of D, the truth about the ancient weapons, and of course the entire history of the Void Century as well. Roger found out everything important that he needed to know about the world on this day, and upon hearing this grand story, which was likely penned down by Joy Boy himself, Roger laughed. In the face of that grand treasure, Roger wished that he lived in Joy Boy's era, and following that, the Roger pirates disbanded. Now, in chapter 11:16, Vegapunk mentioned that Roger and his pirate crew were the only people who reached the final island and there found out the truth about the world. Roger knew everything, yet he did not take action. Vegapunk criticized Roger for doing absolutely nothing after finding out the truth. According to Vegapunk, if Roger found out everything, then he should have made people aware of what actually ended up happening. However, as we know, the Roger pirates did absolutely nothing. The only person that Roger told the truth to was Whitebeard, and this happened when they met one last time after Roger's voyage. Meanwhile, the remaining crew all split and went to different parts of the world, and eventually Roger was executed. If Roger wanted to, he could have easily spread the truth of the world in a few locations, which would then cause great chaos. However, Roger did not do that. This is simply down to the fact that Roger found out that he was not the one meant to start the Great Uprising. The message left behind by Joy Boy clearly mentioned that he knew when to take action. In fact, Joy Boy even knew when he would return. Joy Boy clearly mentioned that in 800 years' time, he was going to come back. He mentioned something similar to the people of the Fishmen and the Merfolk races, and he knew that whoever came next would fulfill what he failed to do. Similarly, Odin also found out about Joy Boy's return, and he knew that in 20 years' time from when he was executed, Joy Boy would be back. Of course, he found this information out on the final island, Laugh-Tale, and it was made known to him by Joy Boy himself. Now look, there are many questions here about how Joy Boy knew he would reincarnate, and he was so accurate that he even mentioned the time. The answer to that will be found in Laugh-Tale, but I can say this much, that Joy Boy is not a name, but a title. It is owned by the previous Gomu Gomu fruit user. Just like anyone who consumes the Nika fruit becomes Joy Boy. But here another question arises, what was Joy Boy's real name? Anyway, if you want to know the answer to this, watch my previous video where I have explained the title of Joy Boy well. Now back to the topic. When Roger was still traveling to the final island and stopped at Fishman Island, their Madam Shirley also mentioned that the ancient weapon would be born around 10 years away. Similarly, the Sea Kings mentioned that there was still time for the two sovereigns to meet, referring to Shirahoshi and Luffy, who are both Ancient Weapon, Poseidon, and Joy Boy respectively. The Sea Kings clearly mentioned that it would take 10 years for the sovereign to be born, and another 15 to grow up. Essentially, in 25 years' time, it would be the beginning of the spectacle once again. Simply put, the only reason why the Roger pirates did not act was because they knew this wasn't their fight to fight. This was especially true for Roger, who was the one who located the One Piece. Roger found out that he was not the one to fulfill the will of D, and that Joy Boy would return in around 25 years. From there onwards, Joy Boy would go on to fulfill the legacy. This is precisely why Roger never took action and did not tell anyone, because this role does not belong to him. Roger understands this because clearly Joy Boy referenced his return in the message that he left behind on the final island. Had he taken action, perhaps the return of Joy Boy could have gotten messed up and the world would have been at war long before the right time. This would be somewhat similar to people wanting Wano to be liberated before Joy Boy came. There was a reason why both Odin and Toki wanted the next war to be fought after 20 years and not immediately. And on that last island, there is something that will only open after 20 years, and the new Joy Boy will be able to obtain it with the help of his devil fruit. Now, why only Joy Boy? Why not someone else? Because to fight a great battle, a strong leader is needed. Perhaps only Joy Boy can face the powers that Aimu and the Goro's does he possess with his devil fruit? Joy Boy's devil fruit is so strong that only he can stop them, no one else can. And as we are seeing in Egghead, no matter how much you hit the Gorosei, nothing happens to them. And we also know that Luffy is not yet using the full power of his devil fruit. Maybe he will be able to fully use the Nika fruit when he reaches the last island and obtains that thing which the previous Joy Boy had hidden for him. And that will be the real treasure One Piece, a power source that everyone wants to possess. Of course, that doesn't mean that Roger did absolutely nothing after hearing this message. Roger knew that he had a role to play in all of this as well. It can be said that Roger did the biggest thing leading up to this. Had he not done what he did, perhaps Joy Boy would not have returned today as he did. Essentially, Roger gave himself up to the Marines, and when he was set for execution, he started the great age of piracy, and inspiring countless souls to the sea is what eventually interested Luffy in becoming a pirate as well, and allowed him to chase the One Piece. Similarly, there are other individuals from the Roger Pirates who played the role of guides for Luffy. For instance, Crocus was waiting at Twin Capes to see who the people that Roger and the crew were waiting for actually were going to be. When he met Luffy, he clearly referenced Roger and mentioned that they might have just found the guys. Similarly, Rayleigh was waiting for Luffy's arrival and even spent time training him because he believed Luffy to be the next Joy Boy as well. Odin wanted to prepare the country for Joy Boy's arrival because he knew that he would return here, and that is precisely what happened when Luffy awakened his devil fruit. At the same time, Shanks actively sought out the Nika devil fruit and was potentially saving it for the next Joy Boy. Of course, in a twisted turn of events, Luffy ended up consuming the devil fruit and he became the next Nika. The Roger Pirates certainly did not do anything. They played a massive role in preparing the world for the return of Joy Boy. Now, it is up to Luffy to open up the truth to the entire world once he locates the One Piece. Okay, let me know what you think in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and enjoy my other videos too. We'll meet again with another amazing video. Until then, goodbye.